still laughing from that joke. That was actually, that's not a bad thing to lead into. I actually myself have some jokes, I guess. My staff will tell you that I kind of do things with analogies and parables and different things. And I found some of these quotes that I thought you might find interesting. Will Rogers, obviously, is a very sharp guy. He says, "I don't make jokes, I just watch the government and report the facts." Something now I want to say as I talk, and of course having Senator Rayford in here who can certainly control some of my actions at the Capitol, so I have to really watch it. I want you to know that many of the things I'm going to say as a politician don't relate to me. For example, let's see, what was, oh, I got it. After all is said and done, much more will be said than done. I like that one a lot. Again, keep in mind, these don't, talk is cheap except when Congress does it. The only difference between a taxman and a taxidermist is that the taxidermist leaves the skin. And I'll leave you with this one. This is kind of funny, excuse me. We hang the petty thieves and appoint the great ones to public office. Oh wow! Forgive me. I just love some of those, and unfortunately, some of them are the truth. I am the treasurer of state, and someone mentioned something about auditing. I don't do any auditing at all. I tell you, there are two types of people in this world, and as the treasurer, I consider myself. There's the earners and there's the spenders. Now, if I had my wife here, I would use her as an example. I'm an earner and she's a spender. But trust me, I tried that the other night, and in the drive home, it didn't work out too well. Now, to transform, and as I said, I've kind of couched what I say here. I'm an earner as your treasurer of state, and the legislature and the governor are the spenders. So again, I've got to watch it because I noticed the senator taking notes. Something I'm proud to say, ladies and gentlemen, and we actually, I'm actually reading from some of my notes that I spoke with my finance board the other day and gave them that I'm really proud to deliver to you is we've really totally transformed the Treasury like anything that's ever been done before. We are truly focused on securing the greatest return possible for you, our hardworking Arkansans. There's no more backroom deals. I'm not taking any money in pie boxes. In fact, I've declared it a pie-free zone around the treasurer's office. And for those that you don't know, go back and look, and you can see some past history of the past treasurer and what happened there. Something that we were able to do in part of my first term in office, we were able to receipt into your treasury $28.2 million in 2015, which is on average $8 million, or 40% above what was previously receipted by my predecessors in 2012, or from 2012, since 2012. In 11 months into 2016, and today, as the senator knows, is our last fiscal day, in 11 months, so through the end of May 2016, we've receipted $42.21 million into the office. That's nearly doubling in interest what we did in 2015, and keep in mind, we still have all of this month to report. And I can't really tell you, I'm thinking it could be anywhere from $3.5 to possibly $5 million. So that alone, ladies and gentlemen, is it's quite a significant factor, and I'll tell you why. we've done it with very, very, very low interest rates. And some people have said, well, Dennis, speak a little more about that. Well, what we've done is we've actually taken the treasurer's office and went from a passive manner to an active manner. We completed over 1,000 transactions in 2015. We took overnight money market accounts and moved it into commercial paper. We took money from low producing agency bonds and put into better yielding mortgage-backed securities. If you take a look at interest rates in December 2015, as of December 2015, they're about 0.25% or 1/4%. Historically, for example, in 2004 and 2005, they range from 1.25 to about 3.25, which is a full 2 points higher than today. So truly, the facts bear out that we've been able to do more for Arkansas, for you, with less. Because of the increase in the treasury earnings and my staff directly cooperating with AFTA, Arkansas Development Finance Authority, we've been able to play an important role in raising the bond rating from an A to an A+ rating. The significance of this is AFTA will experience lower borrowing cost, and which equates to expanding companies in Arkansas and obviously more careers for Arkansans. More recently, something that you've seen is the governor being able in his highway program to fund that without increasing taxes. One of my campaign promises, was that every dollar I can earn in interest for you was one less tax dollar that you should have to pay, and that really was evident in this past special session, because again, the governor and the legislature were able to take these dollars to help promote to get our federal matching dollars for highways. So rather than a tax increase on you, that was something that our office was able to create. Governor Haley Barbour, former governor of Mississippi, told me one time that nothing recruits industry, companies, etc., to a state like good highways, and we're all winners when we're able to do that. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Senator Dismang also for being able to be a part of establishing a long-term reserve fund. This secures additional returns above the funds needed for the highway plan, so that it's the old saying, if you've ever watched NASCAR, it's not a question if you're gonna have a wreck, it's a question of when. And the same is true with the potential, as we know, of economic downturn. So we'll be better positioned to weather the storm when this does come. It's a revolutionary concept that we are not taking excess dollars to set aside in a rainy day fund, but taking excess earnings from investments and setting them in a long-term reserve fund. So neither program raised taxes. This follows up on a campaign promise, again, that I would do everything possible to present the greatest and safest return. Now keep in mind, I'm controlled by a finance board. The chairman of the board is the governor. And so I can't just go out and wake up this morning and make a decision, I'm going to do this with your money or do that. I'm closely held, but the finance board has allowed us to present options and has allowed us to take the actions that we've taken. And again, I've had calls from all over the country wanting to know what we're doing, how we're doing this, and I'm extremely proud of that. Now, your treasurer's office does more than just the investments. That's what we're known for. Little numbers to let you know, we're the most toured office in the state capitol. We had over 22,000 visitors in 2015. We had 30 countries represented that come through our office. And we had 47 states come through. Well, part of the question is why? Well, we believe we're one of the only states in the United States that allows you to actually come in. We usually keep about $500,000 in cash, and the kids and the adults as well. My wife even likes to come up there. We actually will photograph you holding that money, and you can download those pictures. The kids have a tremendous amount of fun with that, and we give them some mementos. But that alone is not the total draw. Our capital, if many of you don't know, duplicates the nation's capital. So there's a lot of filming that's done there. I know right outside my office there was a movie, and in fact I guess it's still on at the theaters, called God Is Not Dead Part 2. The lead actress in that movie was a gal named Melissa Joan Hart, and she spent time, brought her family in, and had her picture made holding all the money. Something else that we do that I'm responsible for as your treasurer, and some of you may have heard of it, it's our Arkansas 529 program, and that is actually the IRS identity code for our tax-free ability to be able to save money for education for our kids, our grandkids, the neighborhood kid, whoever. And many people are not aware of this. I tell people all the time, you're paying state taxes, why not defer and put that money in an educational fund that we manage for you and grow, as opposed to being able, because you're getting a tax deduction. I believe it's $10,000 per couple off of your state income tax, which is tremendous. So even when I have someone say to me, well, Dennis, I just don't have that much to save. Well, you're paying state taxes. Wouldn't you rather give that to your child or your grandchild than pay those taxes? So I want to encourage you to take a look at that program. Again, I have 3 grandchildren. I have them in the program, and I just smile every month when those monies are invested for their education. And by the way, they can use that to fund books, computers, I think living. It's a very flexible program, and it's not only for traditional college, it is also for technical college or trade also. So, and the money follows the child. So even if, as I told a group the other day, even if the child wanted to go to dreaded LSU, that money will follow that child. You can get more information on that at arkansas529.org. Something else, in speaking of education for our kids, financial education, is our Finance Our Future program. Again, if you can't tell, but as you get to know me, I'm very passionate about Arkansas. I'm born and raised. In fact, Conway's my hometown. The Milligan family. The Milligan family, it was, of course, we're about dying out now, and of course the growth that you've experienced here has been tremendous. But when someone says, do I know where Pickles Gap is? Absolutely. Do I know where Wooster is? Absolutely. Do I know where Bologna is? Etc. So I'm very proud to be from Arkansas. I'm very proud to represent the Treasurer's Office with respect to other parts of the country. And I want other parts of the country to know how passionate I am about Arkansas and about what we bring to the table. You know, I get to visit with people and talk a little bit about a little store that was created here. I think it's Walmart. Some of the other entities that we have here, and I really think that we're really one of the best kept secrets. But along with that, ladies and gentlemen, and we all want, including me now, for those of us that are grandparents, you know, I want my grandkids to have every opportunity to stay right here in Arkansas. And part of the way that we're able to do that, again, is to educate them from a financial perspective. When you got Washington, D.C. that can't balance a checkbook, when someone says to me, well, isn't the 4th, 5th, 6th grade a little young to start teaching these kids about financial literacy? I say no, absolutely not. And this program that we partnered with a company called EverFi. We're in 85 schools now. We had a goal of 75 by August 1, and we're already at 85, and I've still got July to go. So this is the first year. We're having great success, great feedback. The kids are really learning about how to to make a budget, how to make decisions on spending their money. And again, I'm extremely pleased about that feedback. So if you haven't, you'll see that around also. You certainly call our office about more information about our finance, our future, because again, it's a no-brainer. Something else that I did when I came into office, and I believe strongly, was transparency. In the past, no one really knew what deals were going on, what investments were being made. So I committed and made a campaign promise. You can go to our website and our Treasury, artreasury.gov, and you can actually click on a little link there. It's called Inside the Vault, and it will show you where your investments are, what the maturity dates are, what the rates of return are. And again, that cuts it all out. Arkansans know exactly where we stand with respect to our future. If I can, I kind of like to interact. I'll shut up here and maybe open the floor for any question that you have, that whatever the case is, and I'll be happy to answer it. Yes, sir.
What is your single biggest fear about money, the state budget, etc.? What is the one thing that would keep you awake at night right now?
Well, you know, certainly the world economy, as it imposes, you know, obviously, unless you've, you know, had your head in the sand, we know that we had the situation in Britain. That certainly affects the stock market. Many of us in here are affected by that action. One thing that I've done that does give me peace of mind, though, maybe as opposed to the other treasurers, is I hire professional people that we look at this market on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, and we're constantly, I used this analogy the other day since I'm an analogy guy, we're flying an airplane, you're our passengers, and if we have to make an adjustment to get around a storm, we're right then and there to make that adjustment to try to make your ride as smooth as we can. There's all risk. Any investment, there's risk, but we're trying to keep Arkansans' money as safe as possible. And ultimately, I think that we convinced some pretty smart people in our finance board of what we're wanting to do, and they've been extremely pleased. And as I said, it's getting to be that, you know, I have a friend of mine that says it ain't bragging if it's a fact, and our results have certainly proved themselves. But I would say there's always several different things coming at us, but you know, I'm not going to just sit there and bury that money in the ground. I'm going to try to make it work for Arkansans. Great question. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Is that finance board that you mentioned, are they the ones in charge of determining the risk tolerance threshold for the investments? Or how does that?
Well, certainly I convey to them different ideas about what we're wanting to do, what the level of risk is. They ultimately are going to allow me to do that or not. So I guess to answer that question, but we do more research. Before I make a presentation to the board, I want to know that it's the old saying, a lawyer asks a question already knowing the answer. And when I make that presentation to them, I want it to be solid. I don't want it to be, I already know that they're going to probably support us in what we're wanting to do. But the finance board would ultimately be the one that we would try to get the approval for. Anybody else? Well, again, I certainly thank y'all for allowing me to come here today. It's just a great pleasure to get to speak and let people know. I invite you and your family to come up to the treasurer's office, bring your kids. We're very proactive in entertaining and letting them see the Capitol. Something in this day and time, though, that I wanted to leave with you. Again, I read a lot, and I found this something that I thought I'd leave you with today. And this is from President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and he talked about America's challenges and strengths in spite of the difficulties or the problems that we have. And he says, I ask you this question. If each of us in his own mind would dwell more upon those simple virtues, integrity, courage, self-confidence, and an unshakable belief in his Bible, would some of these problems tend to simplify themselves? Would not we, after having done our very best with them, be content to leave the rest with the Almighty? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.